So I just was chatting back and forth with my soccer guy who is currently, after this morning's Iceland loser. I want you to listen. You know, a lot of people claim this about the sports information / handicapping business / system business. And they talk about people that accentuate winners and accentuate positive results, because they're really only interested in marketing win-loss percentage that has nothing to do with ROI. So my guy is not 0-1, he's not 0-2, he's not 0-3, he's 0-4. Did you hear what I'm saying? He's 0-4 in the last 4, and I'm smiling. I'm not crying, I'm not upset, I'm not emotional. And I was bantering back and forth with my guy. He's located in Europe. I'm not going to tell you where he's located, but he's in Europe. So due to the time distance, we have what we call, for me, my late night chats, which are his early morning chats. So after the Iceland game loss, we were 0-4. His response to me was, because we're up 2.16 units, he said, I love when I get, for this month, and we're 11-11. So in 22 days, he's played one game a day, and he's won 11 and he's lost 11. But he only plays underdogs. He never plays favorites. Now, before I read you what he said, let's do the math. If you were 11-11 laying 110 in a football game, you would have risked $1,210 to win $1,100. So on the 11 games that you won, you put up 1210 and you won 1,100. On the 11 games that you lost 1210. So you're down $110 going 11-11 if you were playing a traditional NBA game, college basketball game, NFL game, any spread bet where the odds are -110. I'm not talking about, you can get reduced juice. I'm talking about -110. I'm talking about if you walk into a casino in Las Vegas, it's 110. I'm talking about if you walk into a casino, I can't believe I'm saying this, in New Jersey, it's 110. I can't believe if you walk into a casino in Delaware, it's 110. I can't believe in 30 days if you walk into a casino in Mississippi, it's 110. So you are 11-11, 50% down $110. You are 11-11 plus 2.16 units because you're only playing underdogs. And what that also means is the amount of money you risked, if let's say it was $100, was you only risked $1,100 on the winners, and you only risked $1,100 on the losers, and you're actually up money. You run that over thousands of games, being 11-11 plus 2.16 units versus being 11-11 minus 1.1 unit. You can now use your intellect and see why it's so easier to win when you're only concentrating on dog money. So here's what the client said to me in Europe, and keep in mind his stock market is a different European stock market, but he trades all types of commodities. He said, we are plus 2.16 units as of the 22nd day of the month. If these guys don't get motivated with +5 in 30 days of soccer, then forget it. They are not investors. They are gamblers. I personally love when we get +10 a month in our fund, and I'm very happy with +5 a month. Even only +5 is 60 plus units, is +60 units in a year. How many investors can say they make 60% on their money yearly? We are up almost +60 just in soccer, 58 and change in soccer in 2018. The S&P 500 was -1% in the first quarter of 2018 and hoping to be at +7% by the end of the year. Our goal is +120 yearly just for soccer. So how in the world can any investor not be delighted? People need to treat this as an investment if they were going to be happy with what we have to offer. Tell your guys that are plus 2.16 units in the last 22 days that, and actually there was little streaks within streaks. So he said the last 11 days, 2.16 divided by 11 days times 365 days per year equals 71.67 units. How can someone not be motivated with that? These guys see sports investing much different than I do. At the non-motivating rate of 2.16 divided by 11 by 365 with a 100K bankroll, that is a profit of almost $72,000 per year. Get your clients to see the big picture, not the small picture. So then we proceeded to talk about streaks. He opened up the month with an 0-3 spot. And then he had a 3-0 spot, then a little bit of chop, then a 4-0 spot, and then a little bit of chop, and now 0-4 the last 4. So if you're watching this video and you're saying, well, why would the guy brag about being 0-4? Well, I'm not bragging about being 0-4. I'm bragging about following a system that's 11-11 plus 2.16 units for the last 22 days plus 57 units. All games are documented. You can call and get access to the PDF. Mike will send it over to you. And I try to show people the actual boring side of sports investing. And when I use the word sports trading, it's a little different because trading means that you can get in and trading means that you can get out. When you're a trader of cryptocurrencies, a trader of any type of commodity, options, covered calls, straddles, anything, futures contracts, the ESE mini, anything. What a real trader does is they actually worry about their stop loss, their risk, not the reward. There's an old meme in day trading and financial trading, which is 90% of your profit is made on 10% of your trades, because that means you're letting the losers lose, get stopped out, and you're letting the winners run. You're not putting a profit target usually for the winner. What you're doing is you're moving your stop loss up. So if you get that spike, you can take advantage of that by gauging it up. The only thing you can do in sports trading and run it like a real business is understand what's your stop loss. Your stop loss in each individual trade, i.e. wager, is what? It's how much money you were willing to risk. What percentage of your bankroll were you willing to risk? Were you wagering quarter Kelly, half Kelly, 3/4 Kelly, or full Kelly? And if you don't know what that means, you need to call our offices and learn. If you're somebody that purchased, for instance, the baseball season, and a month, 2 months, 3 months into the baseball season, you're trying to figure out your numbers. You can't, because the money line in baseball is going to make it too hard. Same thing in the NHL. If you're somebody that is hyper-focused on the NFL football and you're only worried about having a profitable pro football season, not only won't you win, you can't win, because what you're doing is you're not diversifying to all the markets. So if you're interested in actually being one of the people, especially like we just had a client call who's very excited that in Mississippi, in 60 days, sports wagering will be legal there, where the casinos, the brick and mortar casinos already exist. I did a video interview with Dominic Larigio, the number 8th successful sports and table gambler in the world on Google. I interviewed him in one of the casinos in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's posted up on his website. Now you're going to actually be able to wager there. So you're going to have all these people in the South, in the Bible Belt, if you will. They're going to be able to take advantage of sports trading. This guy was already excited and calling about what we have to offer. If you're somebody that's in the financial markets, you're in the trading markets, you trade cryptocurrencies, you trade stocks, you trade commodities, you trade futures. On my desk, I'm not reading the Sports Illustrated on my desk. I'm reading stocks and commodities on my desk. And it was funny because this is the July issue. And there's an article here which I haven't gotten to yet. I like to go through it in an orderly fashion. It says, the role of evolutionary psychology in trading. Well, the whole point is psychology is what basically is going to actually allow you to win in any trading endeavor, whether it's a stock or whether it's a commodity. And look, these teams are multi-million-dollar teams with huge salaries and huge payrolls. They are businesses. Why do you think, hey, Mike, what was it, the NBA that was pro-legislation? They were behind the Supreme Court. They wanted wagering to be legal?
Right.
Mark Cuban wants to open up a sports fund. Why? Because these people that own these teams in every sport, they understand, and they especially understand in soccer, because I think in the regular league play, B-Win is one of the main sponsors in soccer. I mean, you literally see B-Win, which is a sports book in Europe, on the jersey of the player playing in the game. That's all you need to know. The people are much more enlightened in Europe, like in London, where you can basically make a wager, a punt on every corner. People are more enlightened at the local TABs in Australia. people are enlightened that are actually horse bettors and understand the concept of exotic odds, minimum risk, and maximum reward. But the average guy who went to a university and wants to wager on his alumni, he's not enlightened. The average guy that lives in Baltimore, Maryland is an example where I'm standing, who loves the Baltimore Orioles or loves the Ravens, and he's going to just wager on the game because he's going to the game. He's not enlightened. Funny note is the Horseshoe Casino. I wonder if we'll see what happens when they get a sports book. But it's going to be very interesting, Mike, because the Horseshoe Casino is in walking distance from Camden Yards and the M&T Bank Ravens Stadium. So, I mean, at some point you're going to be able to basically go to the game, hit Horseshoe first, make a wager on the game, and then walk over to the game. I mean, is that crazy? Would you be making any wagers on the Baltimore Orioles? No. If you can get the right price.
No.
What do you mean? They won plus 3-0 against Washington the other day, plus 300. It's all about the prices. So he's still an emotional bettor, but we love him. So the bottom line is, yes, we are 4-0 the last 4 in soccer. We are 11-11 in 22 days of soccer because, again, we're not playing the World Cup. We didn't wait till June 14th to play. And this is a guy that I've been following for years and just made his plays available to me, but has supplied me with his records. And again, unfortunately, there's a streaky nature in all sports. Teams themselves run on streaks in terms of wins and losses. Sports handicappers and sports betting system runs on streaks. If you've watched all or a little of any of my videos, listen to any of my radio shows, there's that underlying thread, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 3 years, which is winning is easy, but can you smile when you are 0-4 instead of being emotional and having a bad day? And until you're at that level of being a professional sports trader, don't expect to have any profits that have a long-term lasting effect anytime soon. Look at your year. Don't look at your week, don't look at your month, and don't look at your sports season. Pick up the phone, especially for you guys, again, that are what I call newbies. People that only wager when they're in Las Vegas at a convention. I got a lot of guys call us during the CES each year, or different conventions, because Vegas is a convention town, and they call me up and they go, hey, I'm here, what do you got for 3 days? And then the results are determined on that 3-day period. Now, when you're in one of those environments where New Jersey, Delaware, Mississippi, and it's going to just continue, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and on we go, because it's up to each state's rights, and you now have the ability to do this 365 days a year like you do in the stock market. Maybe there'll be a stocks and sports and commodities magazine coming out soon. It wouldn't surprise me in the next couple of years. Again, call, get access to our many groups that we deal with. David Miller featured in Cigar Aficionado. Don Johnson featured on the History Channel. Dominic Larigio featured on the A&E Network. Brian Blessing featured on Sportsbook Radio and Sports Insider Radio 5 days and 7 days a week in the hockey, as well as the Hockey Hotline. I'm leaving people out. Kenny White featured on 60 Minutes. And the list goes on and on and on. This is a changing moment in this industry where a lot of people are going to have an opportunity to be degenerate, losing, emotional gamblers, or successful sports traders that are leaving emotion at the door and understanding that it's no different than the magazine that I hold above. Good day and good luck. This is your Friday, June 22nd, 11-11 in the last 22 plays, 0-4 in the last 4, with a smile. Peace.